welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome back. If you're not, my name is Debbie J. Wombolt, the famous, infamous, as some might say, of mini soaps. And I thought I would do a little chatty, short vlog because it might be the end of the year vlog, if you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, I'm gonna cut some soap. We'll talk about a few things, and we'll see where it goes. I don't have a plan for what I'm going to talk about, and I can't do this angle and show my face. Sorry. I know I don't have captions on my videos, and I apologize to anybody who needs to read my lips. I'm not sure how to figure that out just yet, but that being said, let's get started and yeah, see how it goes, see where it goes. We're cutting 2 batches of soap today, and we're cutting Apricity and Spicy Hippie. If you don't follow me on social media, Spicy Hippie is my most hands down popular soap, and we'll talk about it as we cut it, and we'll talk about Apricity too. It's a holiday soap. So let's get started. I'm gonna angle the camera so you can watch me cut soap. Some people like it, I don't know why. Excuse my hyperflexive elbow, that's kind of weird. There we go. Okay, so let's cut Apricity first. I put bay leaves on the bottom. It's really pretty. It has bay laurel oil and blood orange in it, and it has real wild Nova Scotia cranberries in there. And I wanted to tell you about what's going on with my soap. So I've got to trim this big lump off of there. So I started cooking my soap in a pot. So for many years, it's actually 14 years now of being in business. I have always, I shouldn't say always, since I started actually making soap, I've made it a number of different ways. First was like melt and pour, and then I made cold process, and then I started to make hot process, and then I started to make the soap that I make today, which is a little bit beyond hot processed, and with a different technique. And then now it has evolved to being cooked in a pot on the stove. So because I'm cooking it in a pot, it's really changed the way my soap acts when it cooks, but it's also changed the way it looks. So you'll notice that it looks more, you could call it rustic, although I hate that word. It looks like soap would look. So if you're making soap in the 1800s and you are putting it in whatever you're putting it in, this is what it's gonna look like. It's gonna be bumpy and lumpy and harder, although it wouldn't necessarily be as hard as my soap unless you were using the technique that I use to make it, which involves using ocean water. I use that technique to make a nice hard and moisturizing, really naturally moisturizing soap. So yeah, it really changed the way it looks, which is interesting to me because I had noticed it the last couple of times cutting it, that it was very bumpy. And I will admit I was worried. I had a bit of anxiety about it, and I did some researching, trying to find out why was it doing that. And the reason why is because it is processing to the fullest extent that it can be processed before being put into the mold. I used to use a slow cooker, which would get up to a good high temperature, but not necessarily to the temperatures that we're getting up to cooking it in a pot. So that's why we're getting this soap the way it is. So it does require, well, I shouldn't say it requires. It is a nicer soap if it gets to dry, air dry for a little bit. But this soap is ready to use right now. And the longer it sits in a nice controlled environment, the better it's gonna be. So there is Apricity. And as it sits and air dries, it's gonna lighten up and you'll see that cranberry really come out. And there's the bottom bay leaves. I don't know, I just love this soap. It has like that really, when I think about Christmas or holiday desserts, I think about like fruit cakes and cranberry breads and that delicious smell that they have. And that's what this soap really has. So yeah, there is Apricity. And I'm gonna clean up and come back and cut Spicy Hippie. Alrighty, we are back. I'm drinking a coffee, and this is how I get soap in my coffee. And you'd think I'd know better by now than to put my coffee where I'm making soap, but no, I need my coffee or tea, depending on what I'm drinking. It usually has soap in it. And let me tell you, not good. People often comment that my soap looks good enough to eat. I wouldn't recommend it. I really wouldn't. So this is Spicy Hippie. Again, you can see how it is much more bumpy and not smooth. I'm not going for aesthetics. I'm going for quality. And I don't want to brag, but I've worked very hard in my career to have quality soap and make a soap that's good for our body and that smells good. So yeah, if you're not following on social media, I make all of my own scents. I've been studying perfumery for I'm gonna say at least 6 years off the top of my head. And I've done some, like I've done lots of reading and just learning how perfumery works, learning about scent and how to make scents and how to make perfume. And so Spicy Hippie is the second soap scent that I've ever made. I made Queens County's own Driftwood also. Those were my first two scents, and Queens County's own Driftwood is a popular scent, but Spicy Hippie is above and beyond. It has patchouli, orange, cinnamon, cloves, or cinnamon and cardamom oils, and it has ground cloves in it. So it's a complex and ambitious scent. And I did have to learn appropriate amounts to put in soap and ratios. And I'll tell you, I have a math learning disorder, and learning how to formulate perfumes and adjust them to be appropriate in soap, because just putting those oils in soap is not the way you have to do it. You have to do it a certain way to make it safe for you to use and to make the scent last. And if you've used my soap, and I'd love to hear how you find the scents last. Now, I've had soaps out in the open that last a long time, in my opinion, for soaps that don't get put into an airtight container, but I've also stored them in an airtight container in temperature control conditions, and they last quite a while. So if you've been using my soap for a while, I'd love to hear your take on my scent and how long it lasts. Excuse me. And just let me know. So we have cut Spicy Hippie. Now I don't need to do a photograph for that, but I do need to photograph Apricity. And so when I photograph my soaps, I put them here. Of course, all of my tools and things. This is also our coffee station. All this gets cleaned off, and then I put them here and then photograph them with my beautiful sign in the background. That sign's made by a friend of mine, Jessie Hatt, of Coffee and Sawdust. She does scroll saw art, and she made my sign for me. So I photograph them here, or sometimes I photograph them outside if it's nice out, or different places that represent the soaps. So Apricity, we're gonna photograph that later. So yeah, that's a bit about my soaps and what I wanted to talk to you about that. Yeah, you're gonna notice some new things coming online this year. Formulating a leather treatment. I wear a pair of boots that I got from our local shop here called McPherson's. They're called Redback boots. Let me show you. They're similar to Blundstones, but in my opinion, after trying on Blundstones and trying these on, these are 100% better. They're Redbacks. They have a little red spider. They're made in Australia, but they are leather. So they have a leather upper, and I wear these all year round. So they require a leather treatment, as does my leather purse and my other leather purse. I'm a person who likes to use things. I don't like to buy things all the time, so I like to take care of my stuff. So long story short, I'm going to be making a leather treatment in consultation with my husband. You've probably seen him in some of my videos. That's Chris. This year we harvested a black bear, and I have 52 pounds of black bear tallow to render. And because I have been blessed with extra tallow this year, I'm gonna make a leather treatment with that. So that's gonna be coming online this year. I'm also possibly working on some new scent. I call them Nature Scent Keepers, or breeze bars. They are made with beeswax. You hang these in your window or in a place where they're getting a little bit of warmth, but not too much warmth. Let me tell you, I put one on the dash of our truck in the summer. It did melt. Beeswax has a high melting point, but yeah, don't leave it sitting on your dash in the summer. But these smell, well, they smell delicious. This one is quite old, and it still smells delicious. The beeswax comes from a local blueberry farmers, Van Dykes. The Van Dykes are local blueberry farmers. They farm blueberries all over Nova Scotia. They are an amazing family of entrepreneurs, and so I've gotten their beautiful beeswax from their amazing bees, and I'm going to be making some new ones of these. I have a new mold to put them in. I think you guys are going to like it. They're going to be really cute, but it's an after Christmas type of thing. I will also be replenishing our Ursa Minor salves. So I have Polaris and Yildiz. Polaris is with juniper and Yildiz is with bergamot, and so they're both great for your skin, but the juniper, the Polaris is good for also as a Vicks replacement. So if you're having a chest cold or sinus congestion, it's really good for that. I grew up around people who used both black bear tallow and goose tallow as an alternative to like Vicks. So you put it on your chest when you have a cold. And the black bear tallow is particularly interesting because the bears know what plants to eat in the woods to make themselves better when a bear is sick, when it has parasites or an illness. It knows what plants to eat, and that bear carries that medicinal aspect of that plant in its tallow, in its fat. Bears store their fat, we all know that, for the winter. That's what keeps them going and keeps them healthy through the winter. So if you're fortunate enough to have a black bear, to make use of the tallow has the medicinal properties of the plants that it is eaten in it. So I grew up around people who used black bear tallow as a medicinal product for both arthritis, joint pain, like gout, healing properties, and as a sort of Vicks alternative. I had to go let Sophie, famous Sophie, out to go potty. So I'm gonna wrap this video. I didn't want it to be very long, but I wanted to do like a little vloggy type thing and talk about some stuff. So yeah, we were talking about the Ursa Minor salves. Those will be replenished. These Breeze bars will be coming back online, and I do have a couple of teas that will be coming online after the holidays. Things just got away from me this year. I was really surprised that holiday orders started rolling in as early as October, and I am so grateful because I'm just really so grateful for my customers and the support for my business going on, well, 14 years now. You guys are just amazing. And even through all the shipping drama and all of that, you just hang in there. And yeah, so yeah, that's some new things that are coming this year. I'm going to try to do some vlogs over the winter to keep the YouTube going. I'd like to expand my YouTube horizons. Exciting things should be happening on Homestead 2 this year again, and as time goes on, more and more exciting things are going to be happening up there. My vision for Homestead 2, of course, if you aren't familiar, that's our other property. Right now we live on a property that is a 70 by 70 feet. It's not very big. We can't grow much here, although I did manage to pack a lot of growing into this property before we had purchased our second property. This house is 2 levels and is becoming inaccessible to me with my illness and my mobility issues. So our goal is to be moving to Homestead 2 in a 1-level home, and we don't know just yet if we are going to be purchasing a mobile home. Whatever is going to be cheapest for us, and whatever opportunity presents itself to us first is what we're going to be going with, because time is ticking on and my disease is actually progressing and not in a good way. So without getting into that too much, y'all aren't here for that. But I know some of you might be curious. So I do have a degenerative neurological disease. We know that it is hereditary. We know that it is genetic. We know that it is degenerative because my health has been in decline for 20 years. It's slow progressing, thankfully, but we don't know if it could progress rapidly at some point in time. It's not an autoimmune disease, as I was told for many years. And I am very fortunate to have one of the best neurologists in Canada working on my case, and she is just amazing. So that's what's going on there. And yes, you don't see my bad days, and that's not what this channel is about. This channel isn't about my bad days, and it's not about you watching me at my worst. So yes, probably to you it looks pretty great, but to me reality is not that. So that's that. Yeah, so that's why we want to move to Homestead 2. We need a one level, and to be fair, most people are going to need a one level house, you know, because as you get older, you will become disabled. So yeah, need a one level house, want to have room to roam and privacy and just be able to relax. This house is also quite big for us, and we just don't need it. So we want to move up there. And the other exciting thing is that our truck will be paid off in the spring, and we will likely be finally purchasing a tractor. And that tractor is going to help us in our endeavors on Homestead 2, because we need the road, which is 600 feet. We need that road fixed in order to get electricity put back there, so that we can move back there. So the tractor's going to help with that, and that's probably happening in the spring. So a lot of exciting things are going to be happening, and I want to cover all of that on this channel. And I hope that you guys subscribe, and if you're subscribing, leave me a little comment and let me know what you want to see. If you're already subscribed, thank you. And if you're a friend of mine, do me a solid and share this channel, because I do make a little bit of money off of this, and that is going to also help us move on to Homestead 2, where I'm hoping in the future you will be able to come up there, and I'll have a little shop, and I'll be able to walk you around my gardens and show you where things are grown, and you can just stay there and enjoy living up there, and see how things are, and just enjoy nature with us. So yeah, I'm gonna go because I'm gonna make lip balm now. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great holiday, and I will see you in the new year if I don't see you before. Okay? Thanks for hanging out again. Bye.